I'm live public, so you can just go check my channel.
Have you guys seen Tegan today?
Yes. She is here.
Okay.
Does it say that I'm live? Oh my god.
Ready to go.
This isn't fair. Why is yours work?
Wait, what's the timing on it? Hang on. Here's what I'll do.
Hi.
5 second delay.
Remember next to me?
Hey, I see one person.
This is how I'm gonna teach. This is how I'm gonna watch class.
I'll just film class and you watch.
Guys, we've got a, one thing we're gonna do that's more of like kind of like an overview of some things. And then we're going to kind of jump into some group work, which hopefully is a good preparation for your homework. Which leads me to my next statement, which is please write down and take a picture of your homework. You're going to be using the Claim Pitfalls handout, which is this, something I'm going to do with you in class, and the work that you did do with one another in class to revise the claims that you have. So at this point, you might have a list emerging of a bunch of different claims, and you might feel like, ooh, some of these are like I kind of followed the approach, but like they feel broad or they feel not totally clear. They just don't feel right. So we're gonna do work in class today to kind of think about not only what problems do we typically fall into when we write claims, but also how can we fix those problems. So your work over this evening is to try to fix some of those problems that you might have kind of fallen into when you were working on your claims. Okay. So take another 30 seconds, a minute, write down, take a picture of the homework. Make sure you got that.
I lost my journal, Lucy.
I
I don't think I lost it. I think that someone.
accidentally picked it up.
Yeah, I think
Theirs.
I think so. That's what picked it up. Because I never take it out of my bag except like once a day. Well, multiple times a day, but I always put it back. So yeah, very paranoid.
John, there's only one person watching. It's me. I'm not popular. Of the 20 people who are subscribed, one is watching John. I'm not even subscribed. Why? I subscribe to you.
If you want to take a picture of it now and set that,
I'm just gonna.
okay. Alright, can everybody take, I might have made an exact amount of copies, so you pass these around, take one, pass on.
Oh, these are very nice visuals. Did you draw these?
I did.
I
I appreciate visual learners. I did some visuals for you, cartooning. Actually, no, I could use the extra because I didn't make one for myself, so it's perfect. Thank you. All right. So what we're going to try to do first, sort of as quickly as we can, but I also don't want to rush this, is go over this sort of overview style. So what we're talking about today is the common mistakes that we make when we write claims. And you might feel like, oh, I do all of these, or like there's one of these that's like, I do this one over and over and over again, or maybe, who knows, maybe you kind of are a successful claim writer and these don't apply to you as much, but we're going to take a look at these. So right now you don't need a computer in front of you, you really just need the sheet, and if you could just take out a pen or pencil, because I want you to be able to just jot down some notes as we go through this, so that you have kind of a memory of the conversation that we had. If you want to take it right on the sheet, you can. If you prefer to take it in your notebook, you can take your notes in your notebook. So the first claim pitfall that a lot of us tend to fall into is lack of specificity, or a claim that is like just, it's too broad, it's too general, the language in it is really vague. And so when I was coming around the other day and kind of looking at people's claims, this is one that, partly by nature of the work we were doing, going from issue to question to claim, this is one tonight when you're working on your homework to really look out for. The claim that is too broad, too general, etc. So take a look at the example there that's just above where it says too wordy. The example, media is ruining society. How do you guys know that that claim is just too broad? Yeah.
Because it doesn't say what aspects of media or what aspects of society or how society is being ruined by said media.
Great.
So there's just so many questions that aren't answered.
Yeah, so it's like ding, ding, ding. There's like all three parts of this. Media, ruining society, all parts are like pretty big, pretty vague. What kind of media are you referring to? Which part of society are we talking about? And in which way is society like being ruined? So if we were to revise this claim, how could we start to narrow down our terms? That language in there. How could we start to narrow it down? Let's take media to start. How could we make that more focused? Yeah, Angela.
You could get like type of media, like social media.
Sure. Yeah, even, right. Social media gets us like one step kind of closer to it. We might even say like vines and get like really specific about what we're talking about.
Targeting.
Very specific, which specific vine, like the one that's like
I mean, you could. I still don't understand Vine, but I'll get there one day maybe. Probably not. But let's say, right, that we use like vines. Then let's think about how we could make society more specific. Isaiah, if you were to make that term more specific, how could you make a more focused way of saying society?
Focus on society.
So if
Like-
just like, so we took media and we said, okay, media is too big.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
talk
I
about
was
vines.
thinking of like
How could we make society?
this city or culture or
Okay.
something more
Like a group of
specific, like that, like a group of people in society.
Yeah, exactly. So what kind of like group in society do you think we could focus in on? Who's a watcher of vines?
Teens.
Yeah, right? So what if we said American teens, right? So now we've got vines, got American teens. How could we work on is ruining? Right now it's a little bit big, right? Like what would we mean by like it's ruining American teens? That doesn't make a lot of sense, right? We'd have some big questions.
Already bad influence on.
Okay, right? So that's getting even a little, like there's some specificity there that's like a little bit closer. I bet we could even dig one more step deeper.
Cause them to become psychopaths and murder.
Well, there we go. I think we
There
took
it is.
I think it was a big step.
I mean, yeah, so you're being joking, but at the same time, it is more specific than just a bad influence on. And even if you had vines are a bad influence on American teenagers, like you definitely have a more specific working claim than media is ruining society. So if you want to kind of write that down as a replacement, vines are a bad influence on American teens is a way that you could revise that. So before we move on to the next kind of category, why is it that a broad claim is a problem for your essay? Yeah.
Because you can't really prove a point because there's too much that's like not being said or too much that's unspecific.
Yep.
So people could say, well, what about this or about this or about this when you're just trying to talk about one thing.
Right. Yeah, so it's like almost like so big that it's impossible to defend it or explore it. What happens to your evidence when you have a really broad claim?
It becomes unapplicable in
Okay.
some cases.
Yep, it could be outcome unapplicable.
It can like not match in a sense, like it's like too, like you could use anything as evidence, it's
Right.
not going to help build your argument.
Right, it's like I'm gonna grab from over here and here and here and like
It's a
they don't.
specific theme.
Right, great. And sometimes it makes it so it's even hard to like know where to look for evidence, so we just end up making these like big general statements over and over again. The reason people want broad claims is they think, oh, well, I'll have something to say about it. And then like, I'll be able to write more because I chose a broad claim. And in reality, you actually kind of are able to write less precisely what you guys named. Just like, where do you look for? Like, does it even like match what you're talking about? So kind of finding yourself a focus